Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're diving into the heart of Delta Force, its operators. These are the key players that can make or break your gameplay, whether you're flying solo or teaming up with others in operations or warfare. Now, while all 7 operators available at launch pack are punch, not all of them are created equal. Some are absolute game changers, and others, well, they need a little extra love and skill to shine. But don't worry, if you're dedicated, you can still make them work. In this video, we're breaking down our Delta Force operators tier list, ranking them based on how effective they are on their own or as part of a squad. We'll be looking at their performance in different game modes, from the intense moments in operations to the all-out action in warfare. Some operators will feel like a breeze to play with, while others will test your abilities and force you to step up your game. Stick around and let's see which operators deserve a top spot and which ones need a little more work to reach their full potential. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking operators in Delta Force. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
My friends, only 0.1% of viewers subscribe. If you like this type of content, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you in advance for your support.
The operators in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, D-Wolf, Shepard, and Vyron. Let's dive right into it. Today we're talking about the B tier operators in Delta Force. These characters aren't exactly bad, but they're not the first choice when it comes to top tier performance. They each have something that sets them apart, but their playstyle and abilities often feel a bit more selfish compared to the powerhouses we've covered so far. So let's take a closer look at the B tier and see what makes them tick. First up, we've got D-Wolf. This guy is all about combat. Forget about the team play vibe. D-Wolf is a solo operator Bazsur with a focuses on getting things done himself. His motorized exoskeleton and triple blaster grenade launcher are his bread and butter for offense. He can wreak havoc on the battlefield, but here's the kicker. He doesn't really offer much for the team. Sure, the smoke grenade is useful, but it's not game-changing enough to bump him higher up. So while D-Wolf is great at doing his own thing, he doesn't really make the cut as a team player, hence his spot in the B tier. Next, let's talk about Shepard. This guy's all about area denial, and when used right, he's incredibly effective in modes like attack and defend. His sonic traps can also be handy for early detection in operations. But the problem with Shepard is that his abilities are highly situational. Unlike the versatile operators like Stinger or Luna, Shepard's tools aren't always the right fit for every scenario. He excels when the map and the game mode align with his strengths, but when they don't, you might find yourself wishing you had a more universally useful operator in your squad. Now, let's check out Vyron. Vyron is a bit of a tricky one. His whole gimmick revolves around knocking enemies down with his crouching tiger tactical and dynamic propulsion skills. Sounds cool, right? He also gets a magnetic bomb to help take the guesswork out of grenade tossing, which is pretty nifty. And hey, Vyron even takes less fall damage, so he's a little more durable than some other operators. But here's the thing. Much like D-Wolf, Vyron is all about his own survival. While his mobility and skill set can get him into tricky spots where enemies won't expect him, he's not exactly a team player, and that's why he lands here in B tier. Speaking of Vyron's mobility, he's got a tactical slide that makes him slippery on the battlefield. Think of it like something you'd see in a Call of Duty game. Great for dodging out of tight situations and getting behind enemy lines. It's useful, no doubt, but it's more of a personal advantage than something that benefits the entire team. This is a big reason why he doesn't quite make it to the top ranks. D-Wolf also has his own share of mobility tricks, like his tactical slide, which is fantastic for getting out of tricky situations in operations. This guy can handle himself in tough spots, and if you're looking for someone to take care of business on their own, D-Wolf's your guy. But again, he's not as versatile as some of the top tier operators, and his lack of team-oriented abilities holds him back. He's great at what he does, but he doesn't quite have that all-around impact you need from a high-tier operator. Let's not forget Shepard's grenades though. Like Luna, he carries frag grenades, which are always handy. They're not groundbreaking, but they do the job well. Whether you're trying to clear a space or just put some pressure on an enemy, it's not enough to push him up to A tier, but it's definitely a nice little extra that adds to his toolkit. In the right hands, Shepard can still do some serious work, but overall, his lack of immediate, universal power keeps him grounded in B tier. At the end of the day, B tier operators like D-Wolf, Shepard, and Vyron aren't bad. They just aren't the best for every situation. They each have their own strengths, but they're more about playing for yourself than playing for the team. Sure, with the right strategy and map, they can shine. but overall, they don't quite make the impact that top tier operators can, and that's what lands them in this middle ground of B tier. So, if you're looking for a more selfish playstyle, these operators might be just what you need. The operators in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Toxic and Luna. Alright, let's talk about the A tier operators in Delta Force. We've got two that are definitely worth mentioning, Toxic and Luna. They might not quite be on the level of the S tier heavy hitters, but they're definitely not ones you want to overlook. These two are from the same classes as some of the big names, so they've got a lot going for them in their own unique ways. First up, let's dive into Toxic. She's all about supporting her squad and doing some serious damage control. While she may not have the healing prowess of someone like Stinger, Toxic makes up for it by boosting her teammates' healing speed when they're nearby. Pop her Dragonfly ability and you've got a squad-wide weapon buff that also reduces screen flinch. Plus, her blinding grenade, that'll totally throw off your enemies, making it harder for them to aim straight while you clean up the fight. She's like the supportive teammate every squad needs, just not quite as universally useful as Stinger, but still very close. Now, let's talk about Luna, the long-range specialist. Luna's all about sneaky tactics. Her detection arrow isn't as versatile as Hackclaw's decoder, but it's still incredibly useful. It lets you spot enemies from a distance, and hey, who doesn't love a good wall hack? Not only does it give you the upper hand in intel, but it's great for setting up some deadly shots. Luna's Volt arrows aren't to be underestimated either. They offer solid range damage, and if you time it right, her frag grenades can land straight on an enemy's head for some serious payback. But what really makes Luna shine is her trait that marks enemies she hits. It's a solid advantage, letting your team track targets, but let's be real, without the ability to disable enemy abilities like the Data Knife can, Luna doesn't quite reach the same heights as the top tier operatives. Still, she's a beast in the right hands, especially when used in the right scenario. At the end of the day, both Toxic and Luna might not have all the bells and whistles that push them into S tier, but they're still incredibly solid picks. They bring a lot to the table in terms of versatility, support, and damage, and when you use them right, you can really turn the tide in battle. So, if you're looking for operators who pack a punch but still need a little more fine-tuning, these two are worth adding to your roster. The operators in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Stinger and Hackclaw. Alright, let's talk about the heavy hitters in Delta Force, the operators who absolutely steal the show when it comes to getting things done. We're diving into the S tier, where we've got two absolute legends who will make you feel like you're on top of the world, no matter the mode you're playing. These operators aren't just good, they're game changers. So, if you've ever wanted to turn the tide of a match with a single move, buckle up because you're in for a treat. First up, we have Stinger. Now, if you've played Operations mode, you already know that Stinger is like that one friend who always has your back, no matter how tough things get. Seriously, this guy's healing capabilities are insane. It's not just the amount of healing he provides, it's the timing. In those moments when everything seems lost and your squad is falling apart, Stinger swoops in like a lifeline. Whether you're about to be overrun or struggling with debuffs like broken limbs, Stinger's got you covered. You can count on him to keep your team up and running. Trust me, your score and your squad will thank you. Now, let's talk about Hackclaw, who's pretty much neck and neck with Stinger in the S tier. Hackclaw is all about intel, and let me tell you, she's got some serious tools to gather it. Her signal decoder can detect up to 6 hostiles in a pretty solid radius. It's like having a mini radar in your pocket. So, while everyone else is running around guessing where the enemies might be, Hackclaw's already one step ahead, calling out enemy positions like a pro. You can't underestimate how much this gives your team the edge in a firefight. But wait, there's more. Hackclaw's Data Knife is a whole other beast. When she tosses it and lands a hit, it sends out a disrupting pulse that can pinpoint enemies and mess with their systems. Talk about double trouble, right? It's not just the detection that makes Hackclaw so valuable, it's the way she can disrupt enemy strategies and change the course of a battle with one well-placed throw. Imagine turning the tide of an engagement with a single move. That's the Hackclaw effect. And in the extraction mode, oh boy, this is where both Stinger and Hackclaw really shine. Stinger's healing is a game changer in those high pressure moments. You know those situations where you're trying to make a last minute escape and everything seems to be falling apart? Well, Stinger's the one who can get you out of there, even with broken limbs or concussions messing with your character. No more worrying about how those debuffs are going to screw you over. Stinger's got your back. Hackclaw, on the other hand, is perfect for gathering intel during these chaotic extractions. Knowing where the enemies are hiding or how they're moving can make all the difference. Her signal decoder and Data Knife combo means you can gather intel and keep enemies in check while your team focuses on the objective. It's not just about staying alive, it's about making sure the team can finish the mission and extract safely. So, what's the takeaway here? Whether you're going into battle in operations, engaging in full-blown warfare, or trying to make a last-ditch effort in extraction, these two operators will keep you on top of your game. Stinger keeps the team alive, and Hackclaw makes sure you always know what's coming next. If you're looking to dominate the battlefield and leave everyone else in the dust, these are the operators you want in your squad. Trust me, they're not just good, they're legendary. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.